Hello. Hello. I am running a little bit behind today, but here we are going live. I really didn't want to go live today. I had kind of a hard day. So I had to talk myself into it, which is great. That's what we should do. We need to work even when the days are hard. So I want to talk about this little gem here. This is a terracotta pot. This is one of the classes that I've been putting together and formulating. And this is one of the first successful glue-ons that I've had. So now I have that part down. The next part we're going to do today is grout and chat. I'm going to use a white grout here and get it all in there. So really what I did is I found some glue that worked really well to get the gems onto the terracotta pot. Now I'm using white grout, hardware store grade grout. And I'm getting it all the spaces. And what's going to happen is I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to wash off. I'm going to have to spend time cleaning all of these stones and washing it all off, which that will be a chore. But this is my process. This is why we take time and develop classes, to make sure that they actually would work in the public setting. And I've been wanting to get a mosaics class out into my class roster. So here we go. You know, I just want to, I want to make a blanket statement, and it's more for me, I think, than anyone. But you can't let the hard days win. And I know that's a statement that's said a lot, and it's kind of a cliche, but boy, did I need to hear that one today. Can't let the hard days win. Today's been a hard day. And I didn't want to come live. In fact, I wanted to crawl right back into bed until I had to go to work tonight. But that would be letting the hard day win. And you know, if you are followers of, if you're a Christian and you're followers of Jesus, you're not immune from hard days, let me tell you. You're still going to have them. Maybe more of them. I don't know. Last night, I was so blessed. Some of my friends from the church came and did a blessing over my house. And the prosperity, not necessarily the prosperity, but the creativity and the protection. And that was awesome. But there's still going to be hard days. It just doesn't matter. Like, this is real life here. The difference is we have tools to cope with them. You know, I still had a win. I didn't go drink. I didn't even think about it, actually. But I didn't go drink. And that would have been my go-to. The other win that I have is I didn't go find the nearest chocolate store and drown my feelings out with food. I didn't do that either. Win. Big win, you know. Had myself a good cry. Did some journaling and prayed. And now I'm online with you guys. So we didn't let the hard day win. And there's progress in that. You know what I mean? Like, that's a win. That's a win all on its own. When you can face hard situations and keep going, that's a win. That is a win. So don't sell yourself short, because if you're going through something challenging, just pick up those feet and keep going. Say some prayers, keep going. That's what we're called to do. We're called to have some trust. and called to understand that not every day is going to be easy. Anyway, my wins and my takeaways today is I didn't drink. I didn't drink over it. I didn't drown myself in food over it. I picked up the healthy solution, which was journaling and getting some art done. Now, I know this looks really ugly right now. I totally get it. Like, it's going to. I'm going to keep adding on the grout, and then we're going to wash all this off. And that's going to be the hard part. But I don't know if hard's the right word. I think meticulous is the right word. But we're going to wash them all off and then see what we get. I think it'll be beautiful. Just by the little peekies there, the glimpses. What do you think? Is this a project you'd do? Leave a note in the comments. Is this a project you'd want to try? I have some tiles. Or I will have some tiles. I don't have them yet. We got to have people sign up for the class first. To see if it's of interest. But if we have interest in this class, I'll have tiles plus these little gem shapes. Maybe some buttons. I think it'll be fun. I think this would be a super fun class. But that's just my opinion. I really need to know what you guys think, because that's really all that matters. Doesn't matter what I love, right? Well, I mean, it does, because I like to teach it, but I also need to know what you guys want. The other thing you can do if you're having a tough day, like this is, in my opinion, still doing art. Some people might not consider this art, but it's part of the process, so it is to me. The other thing you can do, which I'm going to go over next, just wanted to start the grout process on this to see what it would look like. This grout is really messy, so make sure you have gloves and a space that can get messy, like I do, if you're going to attempt to do something like this on your own. Or just come to one of my classes and I'll help you do it and you won't have to get messy in your house. I do have this scheduled for New Ulm Community Ed so far. It's going to be in July. This specific class, actually. Give myself some months to figure out the best practice and the right size. But it is going to be a 6-inch pot, just like this. I'm going to try another technique next week where we put the grout down and then put in the pattern. We'll see. We'll see if that works. I've tried that in the past. I wasn't very fond of it, but you got to try things more than once to see. I'm really laying this grout on pretty thick. All right, so we're going to take a pause on that because I want it to dry so we can wash it off together to see how it looks. The other thing, there are so many different ways that you can free your brain from pain or anger or whatever icky emotion that you're feeling. And not to get rid or hide from the feelings, but to process them so you can respond in a more positive way instead of a negative way. Negative way being with booze or food or drugs or whatever your thing is, or hollering or screaming, or so another thing that we can do, I have a canvas in front of us here, and you can do this on paper or a pen, but I'm just going to make some random marks. I prepared this canvas last night for a different painting, but that's okay. We can do it with this purpose today. So I just made some random marks there. And now I literally am going to paint in between the spaces. I don't even know if you can see those marks, but I'm going to paint in between the spaces. You could use a Sharpie for this too. In fact, maybe I'll get that out so you can see what I mean. maybe you can see what I mean, but let me get the Sharpie out. It's probably a better tool. I believe I have one handy. I just have to find it. Oh, it's up there. Anyway, how is your day going, guys? How's your day going? Are you in a tough season too, or are you actually in a good season? So this is what I mean. I'm just going to go over these lines that I already made. So this is one of the things that I do. And you know, I might end up painting over this. But right now, I just need a way for my brain to have a creative, positive outlet. And when I got sober, this is one of the things that I did quite a lot. So I gave myself a no-nonsense way to create without expectation of really anything. It wasn't for anyone. It was for me. It was for me to get lost in the process. Because honestly, that's it. It took away any icky thoughts that I might have been having for a moment. It took away worries from the world for a moment. Long enough to start processing things in a healthier way. So you can do this on a sheet of paper with pen and colored pencil, or pen and watercolor. You can do it like what I'm doing here, because this is what I had in front of me. I had something else planned today, but that didn't happen. It was just all I could do to get on here. So, and I'm already feeling better. I'm already feeling better because I'm talking with all of you guys, and I'm thinking about keeping the paint inside the lines instead of the hard stuff for just a few moments. It doesn't, and I'm not trying to say that the hard stuff goes away, because it doesn't. You still have to face it. But when you can face it with a clear head and with less emotion, you are much more likely to have positive outcome. And when I was drinking, I didn't care. I faced everything with high emotion. And that did not get me far. In fact, it got me a whole lot farther from far. It got me in lots of trouble, actually. So I'm not saying that you're going to be able to forget about any of the things that you have going on in your life. In fact, you can't. Like, it's not going to go away. You can't bury it in the sand. It's another thing I always did when I was drinking, is I tried to bury stuff in the sand instead of facing them head on and dealing with them. And you can't do that. You gotta face them, you know. But if you can find yourself a way to face them with less of a charged environment, less emotion, more reason, more peace, more calm, it'll be a better outcome. I can promise you that. And it's not easy to do, you know. That can be a real hard task, you know. It's not always easy to do, but it can be done. I've learned that over the years of through my sobriety. I've learned that over and over and over. It just takes practice, and it takes a little work, and it takes some hobbies or journaling or, you know, cooking or bike riding or running or whatever it is. It takes something to get your mind out of that high emotional state and into actually a more creative state, where you can let thoughts flow freely without judgment and work through a solution. So that's what this practice is. It's simple. Anyone can do it. And I already feel better. I'm already releasing some of that highly charged emotion that I was carrying around that doesn't serve me, you know? And now I can go back and work through the problem again with some clarity of thinking. And I didn't drink, and I didn't go feed my face full of sugar, even though I wanted to. I didn't do any of that. So win for today. Win for today. So this is one of my trips. This is one of my tricks and tips for those of you who are like me and you can get kind of an emotional response and you don't know how to handle it. This is one of those ways that you can handle it. Other ideas: you can go for a walk, you can go for a jog, you can clean the house, you can do all manner of things so you don't respond in a harsh way. So you can maintain your integrity and maintain strong relationships. Maintain your confidence. And maybe make something pretty in the process. I don't know. Or something yummy. Yeah. I'm going to add some more pink over here. So again, this is just taking a Sharpie. I drew a whole bunch of lines on here. I'm going to go back over the lines with a Sharpie when I'm done. But this is not meant to be anything. It's not meant to look like anything. It's not meant to be, oh, look at what I did wrong there. It's not meant for that. This is purely one of the healing practices and the slow down practices that I have been engaging in since I got sober, so for 5 years. That gets me out of a highly emotional state and into a state that's healthier. A state of mind that is more conducive to logical thinking and problem solving in ways that a highly charged emotional state does not allow us to do. It's that pause. You know, not everyone needs that pause. Not everyone needs a way to cope like that. I do. And I have learned that through my recovery, and I'm okay with that. In fact, I feel really blessed that I get to use this as a way to de-escalate myself, and that I'm able to have tools to be able to do that, because before I didn't have that. So I'm randomly adding paint. There's no rhyme or reason. So you can't do art wrong. This is one of those exercises that proves you cannot do it wrong. In art therapy, we take our emotions and we decide what they look like, and then we put them down on paper or canvas. And it's not to escape. It's to process. It's to work through. It's to gain clarity. And I think we're well on our way. Well on our way. Okay. So, how long is this? How long have we been going? I want to see if this is dry. It is not. I'm going to finish grouting this pot and we will reveal tomorrow. I'm so thankful you came. So thankful that you came to listen to me ramble on about emotions and feelings and what I do to help me with them and to help process them. If you have any questions, please leave a note in the comment. I hope you're having a great day. Be well and be blessed.